All right, what is up, everyone? Today we are going to go over Khalil Gibran, and I might have to pull up yeah, I'm gonna have to find a way to pull up the chat. Hold on. Gotta turn on my touchpad. But yeah, if you don't know who Khalil Gibran is, he is perhaps one of the greatest authors that does not get the recognition that he really does deserve. He is someone that if you read him, you know how great of an author he is. If you've in any way explored his ideas, then you are thoroughly impressed and you are a fan. And that's really the only way to describe Khalil Gibran. Hopefully, this video can encapsulate it well because I feel like I talk about him fairly often, yet I don't think I've done a stream on him. And today's the day where we change that. But yeah, with that said, let's get into the video.
There are very few names in the extensive canon of literary history that have the same deep resonance as Gibran Khalil Gibran. As we are celebrating the 100th anniversary of his timeless masterpiece, the
This is one of the best books you'll ever read. I don't know if I have it. I don't think I have it with me right now, but I actually just went to a grad party and I got my friend this as a gift. So, hopefully he likes it as much as I did. But this is a book that I've gifted to so many people because it has something for everybody. And we're gonna go over Khalil Gibran's quotes at some point. Um, Maybe we should start with that to give a little idea of exactly who he is, exactly his philosophy, exactly his ideas. But you can tell he's very much influenced by the Sufis. You can tell he's very much influenced by that sort of school of thought, that sort of school of ideas. Maybe not directly, but that's the closest thing I see to his ideology. You talk when you cease to be at peace with your thoughts. If you love somebody, then let them go. For if they return, they were always yours. If they don't, they never were. Trees are poems the earth writes upon the sky. We fell them down and turn them into paper, that we may record our emptiness. Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive character are seared with scars. Ever has it been that love knows not its own depth until the hour of separation. Like all of these quotes just kind of evoke something in you, and that's really what he's so good at. That's really what he excels at. The ability to say so much with so little. The ability to be so poetic yet so on the nose of things. Explain something that is generally beyond our conceptions, generally beyond what we can normally understand, yet it rings so clear and it rings so true in our hearts.
prophet, we are invited to take an enlightening journey through the life, relationships, and body of work of this remarkable luminary. This voyage promises to
That
reveal
was way too
not just the
fast.
depths of Gibran's genius, but also the timeless universality of his thoughts, providing guidance on the shared human experience. Come along as we explore the fascinating life of Gibran Khalil Gibran, a journey that is both temporally and spatially imbued with the timeless.
He didn't live that long. I think he was like 40 something, which for an author is very short because think most authors don't begin writing until at least maybe early 20s, maybe later than that. And it's quite a shame that we didn't have him live much longer because how much more he could give us. But,
Resonance of knowledge and enlightenment.
I have learned silence from the talkative, tolerance from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers.
I've learned silence from the talkative, tolerance from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers. That really says it all. And this shows the idea that we can learn something through everybody. Everybody has something to give us, even if it's a negative, even if it's what not to do. And think about it, you learn exactly what the result of being talkative is when you talk to someone that doesn't shut up. You realize how they say so much that it devalues what they're saying. They talk so much that they can't preserve any sort of value through it. Every word they say, it means less and less and less and less. Tolerance from the intolerant. Think of the most bigoted person that you know. Think about how warped their perspective is, and you know, ask yourself, do you want to be like that? Do you want to be so closed off? Do you want to be so unforgiving of the world? Because that's exactly how the world is going to treat you. That's exactly what you're going to stir up in other people. The more intolerant you are, the more others are going to be intolerant towards you. Everything in the world is a push-pull. Everything in the world responds directly to how you show it to respond. If you walk up to someone and you smile, unless they're a complete psychopath, unless they're a complete weirdo, they're probably going to smile back. Even if it's a little like, this guy looks weird, like, even if it's just that, they're probably going to approach you with more kindness than they would otherwise. And this is perhaps one of the most interesting concepts that we can all carry into our lives and make our own lives better.
Born on January 6, 1883, in the town of Bisheri, which is tucked away in the rough beauty of Lebanon's Mount Lebanon range, was Gibran Khalil Gibran. Growing up in a household of Maronite Christians, Gibran was deeply immersed in the diverse cultural fabric of his native country. His spirit found solace in the ethereal whispers of the cedar trees against this backdrop of ageless landscapes and old traditions, whose everlasting presence filled his surroundings with a sense of holiness and awe. From the cradle of his birthplace, Gibran's voyage took place among the dramatic contrasts of Lebanon's landscape. The colorful valleys
I'm pretty sure they wanted him to be president. I think he went and became a writer and then he returned and they wanted to elect him.
contrasted with the desolate, parched deserts.
Interestingly enough, Khalil Gibran um, was given the title of philosopher. Someone was like, "You're a great philosopher," and he said, "No, I'm not a philosopher." And what he's speaking to here is that his words know no boundary. He himself knows no boundary. So to classify him as a philosopher is to deny the depth of his words because we think of philosophy as something that's high and mighty. We think of philosophy as a set, rigid belief system to live your life by. And if anything, Gibran's ideas are the exact opposite of this embodiment.
Every season presented a symphony of contrasts that shaped his worldview and gave his artistic sensibility a depth that came from deep reflection. Gibran's soul found inspiration and comfort in the overwhelming embrace of nature, which set the stage for a lifetime investigation of truth, beauty, and the human condition. Gibran has viewed the world with the critical eyes of an artist. Each breeze carries the sounds of nature's symphony, and
Khalil Gibran is like able to encapsulate nature just as good as any writer I've read. And it's really beautiful the way he can portray these things. It doesn't quite capture the entire essence of the world, but it approximates it. And I mean, it's like the idea of like Shakespeare couldn't recreate love, but he came very damn close. Like I mean, if Romeo and Juliet was such a good play that it was better than going out and starting a relationship and actually experiencing love for yourself, no one would do it. But it came very close because it's something that has transcended time. It's something that has lasted hundreds of years. And, these are still ideas that we think about. These are still romances that we talk about, even though they were never real. And Gibran is able to create a same sort of feeling through his writings.
every sunrise paints a fresh picture on the horizon. In the middle of this beauty, he discovered how to untangle the complex web of life and discover beauty in the unlikeliest of places. His inspiration came from the peaceful valleys and craggy rocks. They kindled a desire in him to express life in all its simplicity. Gibran's essence revealed itself as a poet before anything else in matters of the heart. It was restless and longing for the comfort of similar spirits.
Okay, so this is something I feel like I've talked about, but I don't think I've mentioned it recently. In poetry, through poetry, you can find the answers you're looking for. It's very hard to express some aspects of life, but it's very easy to perceive them in between the lines. And this is exactly why Nietzsche is more a poet than a philosopher. This is exactly why Emerson is more a poet than a philosopher. This is exactly why Dostoevsky never wrote philosophy. It's because you can evoke more through reading in between the lines. This is why the greatest works of fiction teach us more than most nonfiction books could ever hope to impart us with. And it's it's this idea that Gibran embraced, and it's this idea that he really ran with.
whose presence shone light on the shadows of his isolation.
Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your soul.
Okay, this is an awesome quote, and this encapsulates a idea that I think a lot of people don't understand. So think of what we think of as marriage. It's a contract, it's a binding. You're with this person in sickness and in health, and it 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 doesn't really end up being what it starts out being. Like when most people fall in love, it's you love that person as they are, and you don't love that person and what they can grow into be. You don't accept that person for what they become. And this is why so many relationships break up because people change, because people become different. And that different person is no longer the person that you love. And it's simply just a matter of things. And what Jabron is saying is don't restrict someone. Don't love someone and love the idea of them. Love them for who they are. Love them for who they become. Love them in the sense that they are not a stagnant person, neither are you, and you guys can grow together. You guys can, in some way, find yourselves together.
Souls.
May Ziadah was one of these radiant spirits. Her beauty and intelligence had captured Gibran's attention since their first meeting. Some of his most moving and eerie poems were inspired by her. She was more than just a muse, she was a lighthouse. Their intense and passionate love wasn't without its challenges. While Gibran was enmeshed in the vibrant spirit of New York City, May lived in the bustling streets of Cairo, Egypt, separated by great physical distance and burdened by cultural differences. Even though there was a huge geographical divide between them, they were connected beyond distance and time. Their hearts beat in unison despite the seas separating them, and their souls blended together in a transcendent dance that was unconstrained by physical limitations. Their relationship
So there's still hope for long distance relationships.
served as a tribute to the enduring strength of love, which is a force that is unaffected by boundaries. Gibran and May crafted a story of enduring commitment by navigating the challenges of longing and desire through the depths of their affection.
My favorite book was written by one of Khalil Gibran's best friends as well.
Your
It's a book
pain
of May
is the
Dad.
breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding.
Your pain, my God, your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. It's so intense the feelings that we can grasp from Gibran, and this is why I love him so much is because it speaks to a part of your soul. You feel it in your heart. It's something that you read and it's something that you knew you always felt, but you couldn't quite explain, you couldn't quite express, and it captivates you and captures you and finally puts that idea into your head.
Driven by an unquenchable desire for knowledge and purpose, Gibran set out on a spiritual journey that would become the focal point of his life's work. He took inspiration from the age-old knowledge of mystics and sages, and set out on a mission to uncover the holy essence that lay dormant within every human being. By removing the layers of existence, he traveled the world with unshakable resolve,
I'm
his
guessing he
footsteps
studied the
resonating across the
Sufis. I have
busy
no idea
avenues of
though.
global cities and the sacred halls of old temples. Basking in the wonders of the cosmos and seeking communion with the ancients who had gone before him, Gibran submerged himself in the shadow of Egypt's magnificent pyramids, and amid the murmurs of ancient
Dude, that must be so cool to go. That's a place that I've always wanted to be. There's very few places I've actually wanted to travel, but I've definitely wanted to travel to see the pyramids and see more of the ancient world because I'm not really inspired by modern day architecture. It's not very impressive. Like most of it's boring, most of it's similar to everything else. Most of it's just corporate, censored, not willing to take risks, not willing to do anything that would in any way stand out. And because of this, there's almost a lack of inspiration in the world. If you want a good understanding of the culture of a society, look at their art, look at their architecture, look at the softer elements of the society, and you will get a great picture of what they were. And when you see things like the pyramids, when you see things like the Mona Lisa, when you see things like the Renaissance and medieval paintings, you see that there was more. You see that there was a depth. You see that there was a spirit, a soul. Think about the music of today. There's probably some singers that evoke something, but for the most part, it's pure fluff. It's pure nonsense. It's pure like speaking a whole lot and saying nothing. That sort of idea.
Ancient hieroglyphs. He drank from the fountain of
I
knowledge,
say that as
slaked his thirst for
I literally speak for at least an hour a day straight.
wisdom as he
The
proceeded to
irony
study
doesn't
the
get.
ancient esoteric
I see it.
teachings.
Don't worry.
Seeking to gain understanding of the nature of reality and the human predicament, Gibran pursued the companionship of wise men and thinkers in a variety of settings, including the peaceful seclusion of mountain monasteries and the ethereal charm of Parisian salons. Gibran created an invitation for his readers to go on a path of self-awareness and enlightenment through his works.
Oh,
With
what's up,
every word
Ashley?
that he
My
wrote,
bad if
he
you've been
lighted the
here a
inner road
while.
that took readers to
I
the
don't have the
pinnacles of
chat pulled up
spiritual
right now.
realization.
I didn't pull up the chat before I did this, and thank God nobody said anything. But yeah, I kind of messed up with that.
And the depths of their own existence. His writing, laced with the wisdom of the centuries, was a lighthouse in a world of shadows, providing comfort to weary spirits and hope to those who dared to dream. Readers discovered in Gibran's words not only a path to enlightenment, but also a mirror reflecting the timeless truths hidden in the human soul.
So the thing about Gibran's writings is that no matter what stage of life that you're reading them, you will take something new away. And that's really what makes these works timeless. It's the fact that you could read it time and time again, and whoever you are in that moment, it will carry something new. It will carry a new purpose. It will carry a new meaning.
Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself.
So that might seem like something that you might be counter to. But what he was saying is don't give your children your same biases. Allow them to be themselves. Allow them to grow into who they want to become. And honestly, that's the greatest advice you could ever give a parent because what a parent wants to see is their kid be successful, their kid be happy. And the only path to happiness is to be yourself. You can't be happy living someone else's life. You'll never be able to suffice. You'll never be able to replicate what it means to be you through someone else's existence. And yet we all conform. Yet we all curtail parts of ourselves to be liked by others. And this is, as Dostoevsky said, your greatest sin was you lost yourself for nothing. You gave yourself away for nothing. You conformed. You gave what it meant to be you for the sake of comfort, for the sake of not being afraid, for the sake of safety in numbers.
As Gibran's life was coming to an end, he gave the world his masterpiece, which is a powerful illustration of the human spirit's tenacity and the ageless pursuit of wisdom. In an uncertain world, The Prophet, a collection of poetry essays read aloud by the mysterious
So good.
Al-Mustafa, shone as a light of wisdom. Gibran invited readers on a voyage of self-discovery and contemplation by weaving a tapestry of profound insight and ageless wisdom into each line. It debuted subtly in the literary world, but quickly
There's a so what he's showing right now is an audiobook online or on YouTube that you can find. Just look up Khalil Gibran the Prophet. You'll find it right away. Very, very simple to find, and you will be astounded by the thoughts that are provoked through that book.
won over readers' hearts everywhere, going on to become one of the
The art's
20th
also really
century's
good as
best-selling
well.
novels. The fact that Gibran wrote this masterpiece in English, even though Arabic is his native tongue, is really amazing. It shows how talented and appealing he is as a writer. With 26 poetic essays, The Prophet tells the captivating story of Al-Mustafa, a prophet who is about to return to his own country, and shares timeless insights on some of the most important life lessons, including love, marriage, work, and freedom. Its appeal is found in its capacity to cut over cultural barriers and strike a chord with readers everywhere. The Prophet has been translated into
I think it's sold 100 million copies, something obscene like that. Like it's actually baffling that it sold so well because it's not a book that you think would sell. Like most of the time when you have a book that's this deep, that's this philosophical, that's this poetic, it doesn't strike gold like The Prophet does. It doesn't get the recognition. It's something that is more underground and appreciated a lot in niche circles, but this is something that somehow got mass appeal. And that's the most interesting thing.
to more than 50 languages, confirming its standing as a beloved literary classic, cherished by generations. The ageless relevance of the prophet captivates readers of all ages and ethnicities, its attraction transcending the confines of time and space. Its lyrics mirror the universal truths at the core of the human experience. Like an eternal masterwork reverberating through the passages of time, Gibran communicated great insight on a wide range of subjects, from the challenges of love and marriage to the pursuit of truth and liberation. Through the persona of Al-Mustafa, every passage is a mirror reflecting the darkest
So plug in here. Um, I would say if you haven't been inspired to pick up the Prophet by now, you really should. It's probably top three in the best books I've ever read. Um, my favorite book ever goes from either the Prophet or the Book of Mir Dad, which is something that's also very similar. And I tried to find videos on it, but I can't. So maybe it's something I have to break down in much more detail and explain some of the finer points. But I'm telling you, this is a book that when you read it, you won't feel like you read. You feel like something more. Like it feels like an experience. It feels like you were just taught what it is that you have to do in the world, things that you have to focus on, the things that you have to some way ensure that you remember. And my favorite quote from the prophet is every sorrow deepens your joy, meaning that every time you experience pain, it means you can appreciate the happiness that much more. And if you remember one thing from Khalil Gibran, remember that idea. Remember that every time you fall, when you triumph, it's going to mean that much more.
corners of the human psyche, providing comfort to the weary traveler and direction to those navigating the rough seas of life.
I have come to give you life, and life in abundance.
Gibran's words resonate with people of all ages and backgrounds because they are a timeless reminder of the inherent beauty and complexity of the human experience. He captured the essence of life in poetic writing in The Prophet, providing a roadmap to enlightenment and a ray of hope.
It's not really, I wouldn't say it's a roadmap to enlightenment. It's just ideas to live by. A roadmap to enlightenment is not something that's possible to be done. As the Zen Buddhists say, if you see Buddha in the road, kill him. And that's saying don't have any idols, don't have any set rigid beliefs. It's finding your own path that's going to take you the furthest. As Emerson said, create your own Bible, create your own book, and live by it. Because if it's yours, then it's yours. Then it means more. Then it means something that you feel on a level that is beyond what anyone else can tell you. And if you live up to your own ideals, if you live up to your own sense of morality, then you live. It's just that simple.
In an uncertain world, Khalil Gibran left behind a literary legacy rich in profound knowledge and exquisite poetry. Among his best-known works are Sand and Foam, a
I need to read
compilation
this
of
one.
proverbs that shed light on the human condition, and The Broken Wings, a moving book that explores themes of love and sacrifice. Jesus, the Son of Man, is a poetic retelling of the life and teachings of Jesus Christ, while Gibran's poetry collections, such as The Garden of the Prophet and The Voice of the Master, highlight his mastery of language and depth of thought. Gibran's literary work
This makes me just want to spend all my money on Khalil Gibran right now.
persistently motivate readers globally, enticing them to delve into the enigmas of life and the splendor of the human spirit.
I want to say he did all the art that you've seen as well. I think he painted this or sketched this. I don't know exactly how he originally
Gibran's
created it, but
timeless masterwork never fails to elevate and inspire people, and his words serve as a beacon of hope for anybody looking for freedom, love, and the truth amid the complicated web of life.
Save my Lebanon! Let my Lebanon remain! A house for humanity, a place for beauty, a sanctuary for the saints, and a temple for the gods.
When we reflect on the life of Gibran Khalil Gibran,
there's a when Khalil Gibran died, the the author of my favorite book, Nicole Naimi, I think that's how you say it, Naime. I'm so bad with pronouncing things that I've only read. He wrote a poem, and it was basically look up Nicole Naime, Nicole Naime's poem to Khalil Gibran. his eulogy. It's really good.
and the lasting influence he had on the globe, we cannot help but notice the enormous influence that one person can have on the path of history. Time has not diminished the reverberating resonance of his words, which serve as a painful reminder of the timeless wisdom that transcends all chronological boundaries. Gibran's observations, made more than a century ago, are still profoundly relevant in today's constantly changing world. Gibran's lessons emerge as a strong beacon, guiding
This is like one of the only AI videos I've been able to react to, I feel like.
humanity through the depths of doubt in the midst of
It's
today's
really not that
turbulent
bad.
waters. His deep legacy endures through the years, imbuing successive generations with a strong sense of justice, love, and compassion. He is ranked as the third best-selling poet of all time.
It's pretty impressive, to be honest. I think Rumi is the best poet or the best-selling poet of all time, but in all honesty, I think Shakespeare would be considered the best-selling poet because plays are, or at least his plays are written in the form of poetry. It's like a loose style of poetry, and the his use of language is it's poetry. Like he changes the way things are phrased. He creates words. He does all of these sort of gimmicks that to this day still shape our language. To this day have still created words and styles of writing and styles of speaking and grammatical structures. And I don't know, I would have to put probably Shakespeare number one in all honesty, but my
Let's use
personal
the
opinion.
timeless wisdom of Khalil Gibran as a
Even
guide as we
James
move
Joyce,
forward.
there's an argument that James Joyce is a poet as well because his stuff is so experimental. His stuff is so out there that it rivals poetry in the sense that it seeks to create the human condition. It seeks to create human consciousness, which is really what poetry plays off of. Poetry is able to fill the gaps with your imagination. It's able to say less, but in saying less, activate the creative force inside of you to tie the sentences and the lines together.
To help us navigate life's challenges with grace and purpose, to preserve his legacy and keep his light message shining on the road to a happier and more peaceful world, we commit to upholding the timeless values of empathy, compassion, and unity.
Okay, that was a pretty good video. See if there's another quick one we can watch. Um, if you haven't read The Alchemist too, that's another really good book. I think that's like the books that I give to people the most are either one, The Alchemist, because it's the easiest book to read and it's the most bang for your buck. Like I feel like I've never seen anyone that doesn't like The Alchemist. I've never seen anyone that does not enjoy that book in some regard. And The Prophet's another one. The Prophet's another one. I suggested it to I like made like a list of like the top 5 books I ever read, and The Prophet was on it, and someone read it, and they were like, it wasn't that good. And I'm like, oh, okay, like I don't know what to tell you. Like millions of people would disagree with you and would tell you that you know you're not onto something, but just me.
In the ancient world, there were those who looked for the key to turn lead into gold, to make an elixir of immortality, and to connect with the divine. Often working in secrecy, they tried to purify and transform metal. They were called alchemists. These figures would be the subject of one of our most popular stories, The Alchemist, a book loved.
Alchemy is not about the transmutation of lead into gold. That is an allegory to hide from the Inquisition, and it was an allegory to not be labeled a heretic. It was really the first effort of self-improvement, of self-actualization, of transmuting the soul into something more pure, taking all your experiences, taking all your pain, taking everything that broke you down and turning it into something good. The most famous alchemist of all time is Sir Isaac Newton. I know there's Hermes Trismegistus, I know there's Cornelius Agrippa, I know there's Paracelsus, but like everybody knows who Sir Isaac Newton is. And the scariest thing about Sir Isaac Newton is a third of his writings were about math, a third was about religion, and guess what the last third was? Alchemy. This is something nobody this is something nobody picks up on, and this is something you'll never read in a history book. Yet when you understand that these concepts are congruent with every single genius throughout history, then you start to notice the patterns and start to pick up a few things. And that's really all it is. It's like alchemy is a philosophical belief system. It's nothing more than that. It's not some mystical thing. It's understanding what has happened to you and purifying it into something better and doing it through a myriad of different processes. So like certain sects will meditate, certain sects will take drugs or do other practices or, you know, more nefarious things, but overall just understand what the idea was purifying your soul into something higher, creating something better, taking who you are and purifying it and becoming the perfect version of yourself. Think of there's an idealized version of you where you made every single right decision in your life, where every decision you made was the correct decision. And if you did this in every single circumstance, how successful would you be? That's basically what the alchemists were setting out to do. That's basically what they were in pursuit of.
By millions around the world, it's received praise from celebrities like Julia Roberts, Will Smith, and Oprah Winfrey.
Wow.
Before he wrote The Alchemist,
I
Paulo
really,
Coelho
that's,
always dreamed
you should go read it right now, man. These people that are famous because people told you they were famous, they told you to go read these things.
of being a writer, but he didn't have the courage. Until one day, while on vacation in Europe, he visited a concentration camp where he had a strange vision that would completely change his life. A vision of a mysterious man who spoke to him, telling him that they would meet in person. This terrified Paulo to the core. 2 months later, as Paulo sat in a cafe in Amsterdam, he saw the same man again. He was real.
This is like a Jungian synchronicity. It's so weird how a lot of times before a huge breakthrough, a lot of times before a huge fundamental shift into who we are, we always have some sort of sign. There's always some sort of thing guiding us to where we're meant to be. It's almost like there's something looking out for us.
And so he went over to talk to him. This led to a very long conversation between them, and this mysterious man would eventually become Paulo's spiritual mentor and guide. It's an astonishing synchronicity. And to this day, Paulo won't reveal who this man is or anything about his identity. Paulo decided that he would write a symbolic book, a metaphor for his life.
What if it's
And that book would
what if it's a
become
fake
The
story?
Alchemist.
What if it's symbolic that he met himself in a dream? That would honestly be a cooler story.
One of my managers, Karen Veazey, she suggested I read the book The Alchemist, and it changed my whole life.
You really can make what you want. One of my favorite books is The Alchemist.
I just don't read a book because a celebrity told you to read it. Okay? Read a book because you know what it's about and it's something that you feel like would inspire you in some way. And it's like I hate this idea that because someone you respect, someone you like, read a book that you must read it as well. Like I don't I don't take any suggestions from anyone else. Sure, I'll go talk about books I like, but that's not me telling you that you need this. That's not me telling you that you need to read everything I read to be exactly like me and think like me. Like no, I'm just documenting my own journey. The easiest way to find new book suggestions is if you read a lot of books, other authors talk about their influences. Other authors point you in the right direction of where you want to go. So like I picked up Schopenhauer because Nietzsche would always talk about him. I picked up Nietzsche because Jung would always talk about him. I picked up Jung because I've heard his name time and time again, and I got lucky because I discovered one of the deepest thinkers of all time. And it's things like this, like if you just have a feeling that this book is going to be a good book, pick it up. But I hate this stupid appeal to authority, and I hate the idea of celebrity because all celebrity is you wanting to live through that person. This is what Nietzsche said about celebrity. Anyone that understands the basis of celebrity does not want it. Meaning that when you understand that all celebrities envy, every single one of your fans is just people that want to be in your shoes, and it just diminishes what it means to be liked. It diminishes what it means to be worshipped. Like that's not something you want. It's not something that you want getting in your head, and it's such a weird idea and concept. I don't get when like I feel like the NFL stopped doing it, but like when they would show Taylor Swift on the screen every 5 seconds, and it's like, who is that for? Who does that make happy? Who sees Taylor Swift like chewing like a French fry and goes, "Wow, oh my God, she's almost like me. She eats food." Like these ideas are so weird to me, and it really is a statement on the state of affairs in the world, and it really is a statement on um, the ideas of our society and our culture. I mean, there's a reason why one of the Ten Commandments is you shall have no false idols. And it's saying that like you shouldn't worship an image. You shouldn't worship anything beyond yourself. You should understand that if someone else did something, you can do it as well. If someone else accomplished something, then you also have the capabilities because you are born with the same faculties. Maybe you're not born with the same gifts. Maybe you're not as creative as them. Maybe you're not as rich as them. But like that doesn't mean that if you put in enough work, you can't get there as well. Because human progress is linear. Human progress is someone does something great and then someone breaks that record. The greatest example of this is there was somebody that ran a 4 minute mile for the first time. And previously it was thought to be impossible. These scientists were talking out their ass, as scientists like to do, saying, "Oh, the human body can't do this." And then after this guy breaks the record once, 23 people break it within a year. And it's we limit ourselves by what we think is possible. But when we recognize that human progress is built off the backs of others, and we understand that we can do it as well, if not better. Anytime you look to someone with jealousy, anytime you look to someone with envy, understand that what you're doing is denying your divine capability to improve your lot. You're denying your similarities with this person. You're denying your greatest gift, which is the idea that you can change who you are, you can change your thought, you can change your perception, you can change your actions and align them with what that person did. It should honestly be inspiring when someone does something great because that means you can do it as well.
Paulo Coelho, and I just believe that.
Oh, I love The Alchemist.
Man, that book is
Uh, we're not watching this video. Um, with that said, I gotta go do some stuff. I think the video is gonna be more interesting, but it's just celebrity worshiping, so we're gonna turn it off. I'll read a few more Khalil Gibran quotes before we go, but yeah, pretty fun stream and pick up pick up The Prophet, pick up The Alchemist, both really really good books. I think if you read a synopsis of them, you're going to really be inspired to take them up yourself. Beauty is not in the face. Beauty is a light in the heart. I'm just not reading the longer ones because I'm going to butcher them. I know it. Your children are, oh my God. See, your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. Sounds like Rumi, to be honest. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet and the winds long to play with your hair. These are amazing. With that said, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you guys